Banks still in the game. They hand it off to Sanchez. Banks working the right side, lowers his shoulder, and he's in. Touchdown Tigers as Broken Arrow gets on the board first in this playoff contest. They just took it right down the field. A 9-play scoring drive, make that a 10-play scoring drive. 4:01 to go in the first, and the Tigers lead 6-0 with the PAT pending. There's right, 2 left, ball on the right hash now on 2nd and 10. Quarterback run again, straight up the middle, got some room, but he's hit, and he drops the football. The Tigers pick it up at the 40-yard line. I'm not sure who recovered it, but it popped out, took one bounce, and jumped right up into a Broken Arrow Tigers' hands. It was Seth Dodd that comes up with the fumble recovery. Good handoff, Sanchez Banks, big hole over the left side, cuts outside at the 10, and he'll go untouched into the end zone. Sanchez Banks scores for the second time tonight, and that one was a little more shifty than the first. On his first touchdown, they handed it off at the middle. He took it in for just a couple yards, but 2nd down and 11, they send a man in motion, handoff straight up the middle, hit and spun around was Harrison. He lost the football. It's free, and the Tigers pick it up. Jalen Johnson on the fumble recovery, still working his way up the far sideline, and finally brought down at around the 22-yard line. Jalen Johnson scoops up the loose ball, and the Tigers again force a turnover. The tight end right, Will Height left, an ace set out of the pistol. They fake the handoff. Raines rolling left. He's got Stieber right in front of him, dumps it off to him at the 10-yard line. It's caught inside the 5, runs over a man and scores! Touchdown Tigers!
Wow.
You hear the phrase, ready to run through a brick wall? Apparently Griffin Stieber was ready to run through a brick wall right there because a man met him at the 2, and Stieber ran through. He didn't even knock him over. Stieber never even stumbled. He just literally ran through him into the end zone.
They're creating a lot of the issues themselves.
Garrett kicks this one high to the middle of the field, and the ball is loose. There's a scramble for it at the 26-yard line, and the Tigers may have it. It is Broken Arrow football.
And that's what I was talking about with those high onsides, is creating a turnover.
Remember how we just said that the special teams was kind of a wash so far? Advantage Tigers. Here for Jake Raines, it's Sanchez Banks in at tailback. Here's the snap. They hand it off on the jet sweep over the near side. Not a lot of room. Barnett trying to cut it back. Finds a hole across the 5-yard line. Runs over a man, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown Tigers. What an effort played from Keon Barnett.
Wow.
Keon Barnett is listed at 5'8", 165, and he met a man at the line of scrimmage, and similar to Griffin Stieber.
Look how tough he is there.
42 seconds to go. The kick is away. It's a deep kick. Barnett going back for it. He and Horn nearly come together. It's Horn that makes the catch at the 10-yard line, coming up the hash, makes one man miss across the 20-yard line, and he's got room to work. Across the 40, gets a great block up the right side of the 40. Looking for another block, and another great downfield block. He's going to go. Touchdown Tigers. It was Horn that took it the distance, but it was Keon Barnett that led the way.
God, did you see the number of blockers we had out in front of him there? Impressive.
And you just can't kick it to this kick return team. Horn on the return, bounces it out the right side, and look at Barnett running out in front of him. Puts one man on his rear there, and now Barnett still running with him, makes a second block all the way up the field. Horn didn't even have to sweat bringing that ball into the end zone because Barnett just led the freight train. Split left, Talley left with him as well. And an ace set with 2 tight ends in the formation. They hand it off on the right side. Banks makes one man miss, cuts it back up, and he's in. Touchdown, Sanchez Banks, his 3rd score of the game as he goes untouched into the end zone again. Sanchez Banks continues to dominate. He's now up to 17 touchdowns on the year and 29 in his career. It's Harrison to the left, Wispy behind the quarterback in this pistol formation. Here's the snap. Handoff left side. Wispy is hit, and he's brought down 6 yards deep in the end zone. He spun forward, but it didn't matter. It's a safety, and the Tigers put 2 points on the board defensively and will now receive a free kick with 10.5 minutes to play. That play absolutely never had a chance. The Tigers were immediately in the backfield.
You know, the intensity factor and all the good things we were doing is so impressive, especially going into next week battle with Union. We need to play like this and continue to play like this when we play them.
5 turnovers. What does that do for the confidence of a defense, especially going into a second round of the playoffs?
Well, it's everything, right? You guys have been watching us, right? From week 2 to week 8, we barely got a turnover, right? Then, right, the last 3 weeks we're creating turnovers. Those are just huge momentum shifts in games, instilling confidence in all 3 phases of the team, and good things happen.
Now, this was one of the few games where your backups, second string, third team, they got a lot of reps. What does that do for your team in the future? I know we ask this question about every year, but especially some playoff experience. What does that do for that team?
Well, that's how you build a program, right? When you get those plays, those guys out there on the field, away from coaches, and they have to make calls at the line of scrimmage, right? And they've got to be lined up right. And then if they have some success, right, man, you can see their chest puff up, and they stand a little taller. You've got to have those plays. We didn't have enough of them during the season, but boy, to get some playoff, some experience in the playoffs for your backup quarterback and your backup offensive line, a couple extra tailbacks, whole new 11 guys on defense, it means a world to us.
All right, last, Coach, it looks like you'll be playing Union in the second round. What's it like playing a team the second time in one season?
As coaches, right, and Spav's up there listening, right, as coaches, we're a paranoid group, right? If you're going to classify coaches, right, in a couple of categories, one of them would be paranoid, right? So playing a team for a second time, right, we're going to analyze ourselves probably as much or more than we will analyze Union. To see what they've seen and see what they're thinking. I know they've gotten a ton better, right? And I've seen them on film against Putnam City and some film we had getting ready for this game. And I think we've gotten better. So, right, it's going to come down to a turnover or two or the last 6 seconds of the game again.
Well, we look forward to seeing it next week. Great game, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you.
It'll be a fun one. I'm not going to sleep well because I'm just excited about this game coming up. That's what playoffs are about.
We'll be looking forward to it next Friday night. A few quick final numbers for you. Jake Raines throws for 104 yards and a touchdown, completed 50% of his passes. Jones actually led the Tigers in rushing, 12 carries for 82 yards. Marion Horn, 7 touches for 75. Sanchez Banks, 11 carries for 73 yards and a score. And Keon Barnett, 3 carries for 32 yards. Horn did catch 2 passes for 37 yards. Griffin Stieber, a touchdown reception. He had 2 catches for 27 yards, and before we move past him, that is Griffin Stieber's first career touchdown catch. So congratulations to Mr. Stieber.
And I just loved him throwing the ball to him. He's excited about, when he runs the ball. He ran the dude over going into the end zone.
He and Keon Barnett brought some pain at the goal line tonight, but I think we might continue to see
He may not have all that speed, but, boy, he's like a slow-moving milk truck.
Spears Jennings with one man catch for 40 yards over the top of a couple defenders as well. It all adds up to a 44-12 Tiger victory. Thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. Broken Arrow at Union for what would usually be the first round of the playoffs, but this year is the second round of the playoffs, so we'll be looking forward to bringing that one to you next week as well. Keep an eye out in the middle of the week for Inside Tiger Football, brought to you by Rib Crib as well. Thanks for tuning in again tonight for Ryan Wyckoff on the sidelines, Steve Spavital, I'm Adam Hildebrandt saying good night and God bless from Broken Arrow.